Well, welcome back everybody. Hello, How To Tech Studio here, and as promised, we are back with another settings video, and this one is going to be talking about iSpoofer. So this is the best spoofer around at the moment. There's lots of different settings, and we're going to go through and show you how to use them, talk about how to do this safely, because we don't want you guys to get banned, and of course, we're going to go through each one of them so that you get the best experience that you can on your devices. Now, before we get into this, obviously, please make sure that you've got iSpoofer. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out the link in the description, as that will help you to install this. This is not an install video, and as always, make sure when you hit this, when you watch this, please hit the subscribe button and set up the notification bell. We are the best place to go for all of your spoofing needs. Now, again, this is on iOS. If you've got an Android device, then please check out our channel. All the links in the description. That will help you get some spoofing onto Android. This is iOS. And before we start, make sure, go ahead, check out that link in the description to get iSpoofer, and then come back and watch this really important video. So, little bit of a word of warning before we go through these settings. We're going to talk about how to use this safely. So make sure you stay tuned for the whole video, because we're going to talk about certain things to do and not do, okay? Because there are, of course, you are spoofing something, so please make sure that you are going to use this safely. We don't want you guys to get banned. If you overuse something, then you have that possibility, okay? Right, so first and foremost, you can see that I am in Pier 39 in San Francisco. Obviously, I'm not there at the moment, so when you very first get your iSpoofer app, it will be in your normal location, and then in settings, it will say fake location there. Now, if you are going to teleport somewhere different, then you can use the either coordinates, little tab there, and you can type in exact coordinates, or you can use the location here, and you can either teleport using real locations, or you can walk to a location, or like I like to do, use popular locations. And as you can see, there are loads and loads and loads of popular locations. I personally like Pier 39. Now, as you can see in all of them, there's a little CD at 2 minutes, CD 120 minutes, CD 2 minutes. That is because that is cooldown. Now, we have a whole video on what cooldown is, because you can't just teleport around everywhere. Pokemon Go have already put in some stops for that, and then you'll get banned. They'll know that you're spoofing, okay? So if you do not know what that is or how to teleport safely, check out the link in the description, because that will really, really help you to teleport around and actually use this safely. So that is the first setting you can use, is location. The next one there is speed. Now, I like to have this at 8 kilometers an hour. Now, that is a good way of using it, because that is about sort of a fast walking speed. You're not going to have that thing where it comes up and tells you don't drive and play, etc., etc. And it's then obviously it's not too fast that you're running at a ridiculous speed that is not capable for a human, and then therefore flagging you up for using a spoofer. So 8 kilometers an hour is always good, and that is that. Next up, we have use of a map. Now, this is a live map, okay, and you can use it to see what is around you, even if you can't see it in the screen, and you can zoom out and out and out. The more you zoom out, sort of the less you can see. So it only uses a certain radar, and then you can zoom in, you can see yourself in blue, and if there is something nearby that you want to go to, for example, this Charizard here, you can either teleport to location. Again, the cooldown is 0, you could do it. If it's over that, you need to wait that time before you interact with something. Or, like I like to do walk to location, and as you can see, my guy starts to walk, okay? And therefore, there is the Charizard, a wild Charizard. That's pretty crazy. Next up is, for me, the best setting of use on all of these is a random route. Now, it literally just picks random stations, and you can then just walk it, and you don't have to use anything, you don't have to press anything, and you can just catch Pokemon and do the spins as you go. So that's a really cool use, okay? I really like that one. Next up, we have a nearby, which is sort of your scanner, really. So there's lots of different ways of using this. You can either see Pokemon, and you can use a filter at the top. If you click the little filter little button there, you can actually see, is there any, for example, Charizards around? Yes, there is. There's one, and it's right near me. So you can actually choose multiple of these if you wanted to. Let's see if there's any of those around. There you go. There's a Squirtle and a Charizard. So that's a really useful filter. You can also just do one Pokemon if you wish, or multiple if you're trying to go and get lots and lots of something. You can also search for some gyms and pokestops as you go along. And in this case, it tells you if they've been lured and what type of sort of Pokemon there are. So that is a really useful setting if you are going to sit in this and use this properly to play the whole thing. Next up, we have throw. Now, here is where I'm going to start talking about using it safely. Now, using a modified throw is a way that you can see that something is starting to be a little bit iffy. So Pokemon Go might look at you and say, well, if you're constantly going to get an excellent throw every single time, therefore that might not be the best setting to have. However, if you want to, you can randomize, which is quite a good way of doing it, and also throw a curveball on there to get some extra XP. So that's quite a nice setting, but be very careful on how you use that. Don't use it too much. This one is quite cool, and it's something that's quite new to this spoofer. And you can enable your item to be cleaned up, and that's really cool. If you're like me, that is massively OCD, and you like all your numbers to be nice and even, you can then select these, and instead of keeping all of the Pokeballs, I know I might want just 50 of them. You can set done, and you can change all of them. Let's say I don't want any peanut berries, I could then say 0. And then once you click done, it would then actually get rid of and keep all of your items at that. So when you go through and you spin pokestops, it will automatically get rid of or keep the items so that your numbers are exactly as you set them here. So that's quite cool. And then very last thing is the overall settings. So as always, you've got the fake location. You can see I don't have a joystick at the moment. So enabling the joystick is quite cool because that means you can then go walk around. This is possibly the best setting of all of them, which everybody loves. You can use the joystick. A great little thing here. Hack options as well. Again, use these very carefully. You can see the IV of Pokemon when you go on there. Freeze Pokemon, I wouldn't do if I were you because that's really sort of cheating, and you can skip the animations as well if you so wish. I quite like to see if you have actually caught it or not. So catch nearby Pokemon, you can spin and do all of these wonderful things. Again, you can enable the Pokemon scanner, enable him. Again though, be very, very careful on how you use these. If you also want to, you can export the settings, just in case you lose the spoofer. You can click export and it will then send it. I would always send it to an email, and then if you do then lose your spoofer, you can come back and re-download it, and then you can then start with the same settings again. So once you've watched this video, you're going to have the perfect settings and you can save them for another time. So as we said, make sure that you use these really, really safely. Go ahead and check out our video on how to actually install iSpoofer before you then come back and get all the settings ready to go. As always, please make sure you use this safely. We don't want you guys to get banned. Use it often. Be sensible. Don't be silly about it. And please enjoy yourselves. Check out our channel. We've got lots of other videos, so go ahead and check those in the description or go on our channel. And as always, guys, we will be back with a new video very, very soon. So stay tuned, and I will see you there.